Bonsoir et bienvenue chez Palf.
Hello, non du coup en français, oui coucou. Bonsoir et bienvenue chez Palf.
T'as raison, on va switcher à l'anglais dans pas longtemps.
Aujourd'hui, voilà, on va switcher en anglais parce qu'on n'est pas tout seul dans nos têtes déjà pour commencer. Et de deux,
sur le canapé.
Voilà, sur le canapé, on n'est pas tout seul dans nos... Non, ça n'a plus de sens. Aujourd'hui, on va vous parler d'une marque de pédales que j'adore. C'est pas nouveau, je rabats ça à Alex depuis un moment et on va vous parler de Cornerstone, non.
Oh le flop.
Today we are with Émilio from Cornerstone Pédales and we will switch to English for the sake of the video.
Welcome. Hello guys. Hello, Émilio here. I'm sorry I don't speak any French, but I mean subtitles maybe can help us, I don't know.
Well, let's start. Okay, so it looks like this video were supposed to happen.
Yes.
Like Swan plays with your pedal since a couple of months. I don't remember when exactly you...
Yes.
Exactly,
yes.
And he really loves it.
Yes.
I'm happy.
He uses a lot of time. Like every gigs.
Every gig. I don't move my pedal board very often. So.
I think you just have two overdrives, his and mine.
Yeah.
The Sandman and the Gladio.
Do you need more? Do you need more?
And now he likes fuzz. It's new.
No,
before
I didn't like fuzz. I have a fuzz, but I'm gonna replace it. No, I'm kidding.
He likes a new Odin from Fjord Fuzz. You know. So,
and I
we were supposed to meet together because he will play crazy on this kind of pedals. Because let me sum up really short and badly maybe. If you like DUMBLE tones, if you like John Mayer style, if you like every pedals in this kind of tones, you will like Cornerstone.
Oh man, thank you so much.
So, Émilio, please tell us a good story about your brand. What do we need to know about your brand,
I mean,
yourself, your story, please?
Yeah, well, I started building pedals because I just wanted to buy all the pedals in the world, but I have just just no money, enough money to buy all of them. So right after,
guitarist.
Yeah, that's it. Common story. So right after university, I am an aerospace engineer. I started, not building these pedals, but just starting, the classic kits and modifications. And then I started making my own thing into the pedal. The creativity stepped in, and in 2019 I developed the most successful pedal that I've made, which is the Gladio, the double Gladio.
19, you said.
Yeah, it was 2019.
Okay.
So it's pretty recent.
It's pretty recent.
Yeah, 2019.
Okay.
And actually, that pedal started a new way of designing pedals, at least for me. So being inspired by a song.
Okay.
I kind of 99% of the time I always start with a song that inspires me, and then I want to make a pedal.
Which song it was?
Yeah, the Gladio was inspired by Cannonball Shuffle, Robben Ford. It was 2-channel. So the first channel was, the left side was Cannonball Shuffle by Robben Ford, and the other one was from another DUMBLE user, probably less famous, Sonny Landreth.
Oh yeah.
Elemental Journey, which I actually love as well. Now, I've always said that the Gladio is not meant to be a DUMBLE in a box. It doesn't really mean anything to me.
Because which DUMBLE?
Exactly. Which DUMBLE? I mean, no matter the model, overdrive special, steel string singer, whatever.
They all sound different.
If you take maybe 2 different amps, serial number, but same model, they will probably sound different anyway. So
this is a real boutique amp then.
Exactly.
None of them sound the same, but you just put a label and you say it's a DUMBLE. Don't worry.
Exactly. So the thing is, my approach was, okay, I don't have any DUMBLE. It doesn't really make sense to say this is a DUMBLE in a box. Okay, let's take a song that was recorded with a DUMBLE. Let's be inspired by that tone and nothing else.
That's very crazy. Healthy, actually.
I had the same approach one day.
Yeah, it's actually an honest approach. I mean, this is what I believe.
Yeah,
And you know
like
what?
this way.
The cool thing happened a couple of years later, in 2021. I still remember that I had a call with Robben Ford.
Yeah.
Because he started using the Gladio.
Oh.
Well, a friend of ours, a common friend, sent him a Gladio. And he wanted to talk to me, and he was like, well, tell me something about this pedal. And I was like, Robben, you know, I just...
Hello?
It's you, God, sorry.
The real you?
No, and I was like, yeah, I was inspired by your tone. And he was like, oh, funny. And I was like, why funny? Well, because I didn't like... sorry, I didn't... no, because I didn't know that you were inspired by my tone. But the very moment when I plug it in, tweaked the knobs a little bit, and I thought, hey, this is kind of a shuffle tone.
Okay.
This is what he said. It's incredible, and that was the beginning of the Gladio journey. The Gladio journey that...
So just for the record, it was the bigger version.
Yeah, it was the bigger
because
version.
here we don't have the bigger version.
No, because it's discontinued.
So yeah, as we like the first versions of everything.
It's
Sometimes it's discontinued, sometimes it's not.
It's like the rock
You're
stars.
one to talk. You're one to talk, aren't you?
It's like the rock stars. They die young.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the good age. I mean, like 4 years. It's
Yeah.
good enough. I think.
Yeah. Okay, so the first version we talk about.
Yeah,
that one.
and I mean, everything started with the Gladio. Actually, I'm honest. Cornerstone, the Cornerstone that we know today, started with the Gladio. Everything came after, but it's taken just the Gladio heritage. So the Gladio SC, the single channel, was the first channel of the Gladio. So the left side, which everyone...
So the Robben Ford one.
Yeah, the Robben Ford
okay.
one. And like 99% of the people just was loving that channel. And the Gladio SC, the Gladio single channel, is that channel. With the addition of a controller. Maybe we can talk about that later on.
So the clean.
Yeah,
Is
the
it
clean.
a blend?
It's not actually a blend. It's like a clean volume.
Okay.
So you have your drive signal always present, because normally you have overdrives like all clean or all overdrive, you know?
Exactly.
Full clean, full overdrive.
Yes.
This is not like that. This is like you have the overdrive all the way, all the time, 100%, and you just add clean on top.
And from your point of view, what's the use of that? For which kind of musicians?
It's like for the super dynamic musician.
Okay.
It's like having two different amps, one dirty and one clean. And with this one, you're just controlling the volume of that amp.
Okay.
Actually, that's something like bass players have been doing for ages,
Yeah.
and it works like a charm just to regain some clarity and control of your playing. Like take out some of the muddiness of the tone. It works very, very well. So I think it must work here too.
And nowadays, Robben Ford especially is using the Gladio SC because over the years, well, we know Robben Ford for his tone in Cannibal Shuffle, Talk to Your Daughter, which is a pretty, distorted sound, heavy, overdriven sound. But over the years, if you listen to Robben Ford nowadays, he plays like 99% of the time clean.
Okay.
So he moved from that kind of overdrive sound to a more cleanish sound.
I see.
And that's why he used the Gladio SC like an always-on pedal. Because it's like it's being used by him like a clean boost, especially because of this, just adding a little bit of grit.
Okay.
Shaping the sound basically in the dynamics of it.
For people which like to have a kind of idea of the tone, is it like a steel string singer or overdrive special?
Yeah,
I don't know. In terms of
Overdrive
gain.
singer and still
I know it's not.
It's a tough,
It's not one schematic or the other, but in terms of gain, let's say, how would you?
I would say a cleanish steel string singer.
Okay.
But just stick this as a reference, because actually Robben Ford doesn't use a steel string singer. It doesn't have an overdrive special.
That's why I asked. Just know, because he used this amp, but finally you have a cleanish one.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to know your approach.
Some people say the Gladio SC doesn't have too much gain. So many people say, well, is this enough to say that this is that D style pedal? Well, it's interesting because other D-style pedal like the Dude.
The Dude is great by J-Rocket.
They are all, they're great, but they are all heavy.
Oh yeah,
heavy.
The Dude has a lot of gain.
Yeah, a lot of gain. So
Yeah.
many D-style pedal have a lot of gain. These not, because I kind of love the fullness of the DUMBLE clean.
So when you developed it, you were listening to the album.
Yeah.
Which amp did you use to develop that sound? Because then it's pretty linked. I mean, if you develop this pedal in a Marshall GCM 800 or in a Blackface, you don't have the same tone.
No.
So that's maybe why many brands have this different level of gains.
Yeah.
Which amp did you use?
I have my favorite amp of all time. That my platform for every pedal that I design is my old faithful 1968 Bassman.
Okay.
That's my platform.
That gives us a good lead. Okay. Then this is why you put it cleanish. And did you try it with the amp push to 11 or?
Ask the neighbors.
As a like protection, I hope.
They moved out twice.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. Actually, I just prefer to set my amp as clean as possible.
Okay.
But
really
with enough
pedal platform.
Yeah, pedal platform.
Okay.
I just let the pedals do all the work, especially for overdrive sounds.
Okay.
The only thing that I care about from an amp is that they have enough headroom and enough, fullness so that you can actually. There are some amps that you just need to put the input volume way too low, and the tone is thin.
Muddy and thin.
Well, for that today we have the beautiful Celt. It's a DUMBLE Turok stuff.
That's just perfect.
Made in a signature with Axel Bauer, which is a French musician, which has a good relationship with Celt. Maybe we can have the clean sound. Okay, fine, we'll have a video insert of the pedal,
okay.
So that's fine.
Okay.
So we can go back to this one.
Okay.
So let's have a try.
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay.
More compression, you can compensate with more volume.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a beautiful Klon. Tube screamer. Sorry.
Okay. Truth has been told.
Truth has been told.
Did you turn it on? Actually, no. They stuck beautifully
tube
together. Yeah.
Congrats.
And we have these two. I then discontinued the Gladio.
Yeah.
And the reason why I discontinued one of the reasons why I discontinued the Gladio is that because 99% of people was liking so much the first channel, and not so much the second channel.
Okay.
Which is okay. But I wanted a pedal that can be 100% usable.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, let's move on. And I already released the Gladio SC back in 2021, 2022, the Antique. And then I stacked them together like we were doing. And they were,
because
that might
this
be
is
an
why you
answer to
developed the
problem.
Antique.
and I was like, okay, I think these two sound just so good. Why don't I put these two into the same box?
Fusion.
Exactly. Which happened more or less the same thing. And then we had the Imperium.
Imperium.
So the Gladio Double was discontinued and the Imperium came to life. What is the Imperium? Well, it's easy.
The two in one.
The
box.
2-in-1. The 2-in-1 because,
Easy.
in Italy we say 2 is meglio che 1. 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
I also introduced some weird switching system.
Oh.
Now we have the clickless switching,
Yes.
obviously.
Which is always good.
Yeah, but if you
It's just on release. It's on release.
it's on the release.
Yeah.
But the thing is, okay, what about if I wanted the stacked sound from the instant point?
Okay.
You just press whatever switch you want,
Oh.
and you have both of them active.
You press long. Okay.
You just
a long press would be
press and hold for
yeah.
just slightly less than a second, and you have both of them on or both of them off. And what about if you're using one of the two, and you want to switch to the other? You can press and hold one.
Hold.
Well, it will just like
Press and
activate or
hold.
deactivate the
Oh.
Yeah, just
Press and hold any of the two, and you flip flop between. the two.
it's an A/B situation really. So whether they are both on A or B.
I think this is useful because some people I saw with double channel overdrive, they were doing weird thing with the feet like
Okay.
I want
I tried it with the double channel. It doesn't work.
I want both channel on, so I do this kind of weird things with their feet. So okay, I decided to do this.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You try your best to think about the customer, which is important. This is the same use of the ABY,
Oh yeah,
but in a different way, and I like it. It's just you need to make a concession of the release thing. You activate when you release, so you anticipate that you switch it on and switch it off.
Actually, in
That's
a live
important.
situation, it is not that much of a problem.
Exactly.
It's
You just
not.
need to think about it before.
You just need to know. Actually, like my
Yeah.
problem with looper pedals
Yes.
has been for years to know if it's an attack or release situation,
Yes,
just to
exactly.
know when to hit it, for the loop
Yes.
to begin. So I'm always struggling with that. Like, oh, I can't. That's not a problem. Like I've had many
Exactly.
pedals that were actually released, activated when released.
it's
That's
actually,
very okay.
It's a good thing. It's a
That's
good
very
thing.
okay.
We just need to know it. Like, I press and now it activates.
That's even, I
Yeah.
think, like more precise in a way.
Yes.
When you play, because
Yes.
you can just step on it, play your part, being focused
And
on that, and then just release.
How long is
sometimes.
the old?
Like
really
very
fast.
quick.
Yeah,
That's
it's
okay.
really fast.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
it's
very
fast
okay.
enough, but
Yeah.
not that fast to be
Yes, like
mistaken with.
Yeah, that's great.
That's brilliant. Really,
Thanks.
Okay.
I love the idea.
So
Nice.
you need a microcontroller for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
we have
something really hard to handle, but I mean it's not complicated.
Not complicated.
It's more technology.
Yeah, not too much complicated. The complicated part is that
For the
to
production,
do this, and to also implement the order switching,
Oh yeah.
you need to have 4 relays. four different relays.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the pedals, even these ones, is that the audio signal is not passing through the mechanical foot switch.
Okay.
I don't want the sound to pass through the mechanical foot switch.
Okay.
The sound here also is passing through a relay, which is in turn activated by...
Why?
Because I just prefer the sound to pass through a micro relay,
Like shorter...
with shorter gold pins, other than a sturdy foot switch, which is okay, but the main function of this foot switch, for which was designed, is not to handle audio signals.
Okay.
I'm using here Panasonic relays in all the pedals.
Yeah, they are great.
Because, I mean, they are great. They last for millions of cycles.
Yes.
They are super fast, super silent.
One of my investors was chatting with me a couple of weeks ago, and he asked me about the life cycle of components. And when you say something is high-end quality, but what makes it different from low-end? And it's the first thing to think about is the capacitors.
Oh yeah.
Electrolytic capacitors, we never tell people about that because it's boring.
It's the nerdy part.
Are you still there? I can see you.
I can see you sleeping.
But in fact, maybe one day we will need to make a video about what makes it different from cheapy crap products. Because nobody understands what's the difference in terms of components and life cycle.
Especially electrolytic capacitor. It's very funny.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way with electrolytic capacitor that most of the time the pop noise that you hear when you step on a pedal is due to a leaky electrolytic capacitor that is placed at the beginning or at the end of the circuit, and that leaky capacitor actually is letting some charges passing through a part of a circuit which is supposed to not have any kind of any kind of charges when the pedal is bypassed. So when you step on it, the audio signal is then passing through the circuit immediately. That micro charges like 0.3 volt or millivolt, even less.
Is what makes the
but it makes a DC offset.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a pop.
You can hear in the speaker.
Like plug a phantom on your mics and you see what's a pop. So you put a latching, but then you have a relay. That's great. Yeah,
I mean because of the small side factor. I actually less component. Yeah. I can actually put a clickless switching into this one, but obviously you have to also add a microcontroller and more component, and more component and more cost. So
in the production, a microcontroller needs a programmation, so more time.
Yeah.
So I'm totally enjoyed about this one. Congrats.
Thanks.
Let's go to the next one.
This one is our first step into the modulation territory. A vibe.
Yeah, I love vibes.
Okay.
I never tried yours.
All right.
To be honest.
Okay.
I have it here for weeks, and I love vibes, so I'm curious.
Okay. There are tons of amazing vibes.
Yes.
I have the Jam pedals. I also tried the Kington 1968.
Okay. We have here, an Italian guy, Formula B.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, I love the vibes. So my approach to making one was, okay, if I'm making one, the reason why I'm making one is that I just want to offer my interpretation of vibes. So classic circuit, there is, the classic thing, a bulb, LDRs, that kind of stuff.
Varies or very resonant?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, you have the bulb and all that stuff.
There is all the stuff, the light shield,
Okay.
all the fancy.
It looks like it's a really artisan thing, like everything made by hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything. That particular part of a circuit is pretty, tricky because you have to measure every single LDR because they most of the time they are out of tolerances. But never mind. I mean,
freaking amount of time.
They make like a small bubble to put the circuit in the dark.
Okay.
And then they put lights and some captors. I never tried myself, but I've seen so many photos, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's so old school."
I just made a 3D printed light shield.
Yes.
So I have the bulb and 4 LDRs inside. You have the light shield. Just like a classic Univibe. So my approach was, okay, I want to make a classic Univibe, but in a modern approach. What is a modern approach? Well, fixing what to me are the classic issues of a Univibe.
Impedance.
So first of all, the impedance.
Impedance is
the main issue.
Why you can't put a pedal over than first place.
Yeah, you can put this one in the first place, but it's not necessary to put this one before a fuzz, for example.
Yes.
If we had a fuzz and we had a classic vintage vibe, normally you would put the vibe before the fuzz.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
The reason is simple, because even the vintage vibe have low input impedance. Pretty low input impedance. And that thing is responsible for 2 things. For making the vibe pretty dark, and the output volume. If you have the classic vintage Univibe, you don't have the kind of you don't have that huge amount of volume.
No.
because of the impedance. Impedance is loading the pickup, and is loading from the tone point of view, and is loading the pickup from a volume point of view. It's a voltage divider, actually.
Yes.
So
you lose volume.
You lose tone and you lose volume. So
like a bad cable.
Exactly.
Like a bad cable.
Exactly. Just like bad cable. So what about using the same circuit of a vibe, the classic Univibe, but with the correct impedances?
Okay, and while you keep the same tone.
Exactly. This is the thing.
Great.
This is the thing. Even because I don't really understand when you have a full true bypass with modern boutique pedals. When we talk a lot about tone, compression, mid cut and whatever, and then we also use a vintage pedal in front that is sucking my tone at the beginning.
Yes.
It doesn't really make sense.
There's a problem in the process. Yeah.
in most of the vintage fuzz, the idea behind is to put a transformer just to adapt the impedance. Do you do this kind of the same thing? Or
no.
Is it an electronic way?
No, it's just an electronic way.
Okay.
I didn't use any transformer inside.
Yeah, because we see this more and more in the fuzzes. We released a new Omni Fuzz from Signal Chain, which has a transformer at the input. And this
is controlling the impedance. That's
exactly.
Very clever.
There is also some electronic just afterward, because you need to drive the transformers. And this start to become a standard in the electronic of pedals, because sometimes it's hard to keep the same tone.
I can totally see why. So the impedance fixing was the very first thing. The volume.
Oh yeah.
What about having the ability to control the output volume? So this is a master volume out. Okay. So you can go to 0 to unity volume at noon. And you can also boost it.
Okay.
You can boost it with a classic Univibe.
That's great.
And what about mixing your dry with the wet? I'm a very big fan of mixing dry with the wet.
In the
Gladio SC. Everywhere, but it works like
so I thought, okay, in classic Univibe, you just normally have vibrato and chorus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you made it continuous.
Vibrato and chorus mean in chorus mode, basically you have your dry signal and
50% of
and in your in the wet.
Yeah.
In vibrato, you have full dry, full wet.
Yeah.
Right? Well, You
full
have
wet.
full wet. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
and
like
no
full
dry.
wet
And
and
no
not
dry.
dry. And you just control the LFO depth.
So you
Okay.
put a continuous knob just
Exactly.
to go from one to the other.
Exactly, and this is the mix mode. Basically, if you put the mix all the way up and you put the mix mode M, which stands for mix,
Okay.
it's just like a chorus because you have the dry and all the wet possible on top of it.
Okay.
If you put the mix all the way down, you have only dry.
Okay.
And then once you raise it, more and more wet signal is applied on top of your drive, on top of your dry
Okay.
signal, right? Obviously, if you put it all the way up,
It's a chorus.
in mix, it's chorus mode.
Okay.
Vice versa, vibrato.
So this one is
The
called
B, blend.
for blend, and then you come from 0 to 100%.
Full dry to full wet. So it's in this mode blend with mix knob all the way up.
Okay.
It's just a classic vibrato in vibe pedals. But the thing is,
You have
again,
chorus at 50% then on the mix knob. You have the chorus if you are.
Oh, yeah.
Aquarium.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
You can, but a thing that you cannot do in classic univibe is deciding
Yes.
how much you want.
How
Yes.
percentage of your wet signal do you want to apply on the dry?
Then you have the LFO depth.
Okay,
The LFO here is digital.
you're right.
Actually, the sound is not passing through the LFO. The LFO is just a creation of a sound wave.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what it is.
So it's a sine wave?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Perfect.
it's not perfectly symmetrical.
Not a square one.
It's, no, it's not square one, but it's a sine wave, but not perfectly
It's like-
symmetrical.
yeah, maybe
it's
like
like
a-
rounded so that it
exactly.
gets an element.
And two different speed controls.
Okay, with the second foot switch.
Exactly, this one.
Yeah. Plus it has a
Perfect.
hidden function.
You can pass from one to another. And also you can also decide the ramp speed between the two.
That's what I was going to ask. Like a Leslie.
Exactly. You
Oh,
have the
yeah.
inertia toggle switch, and then you have three positions: instant, medium, or slow.
I like it.
There is also a momentary function, like you can do this,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, jump
And
from
release
one
it.
to another.
I like that. I just hope it sounds like I love.
and a tone control.
Please,
Why not?
please make it sound really beautiful
Go.
because all the functions are perfect. I just hope it's the same.
Now we have unity volume. You can feel when you swap between blend and mix, you can feel the bottom end of the dry. Just a second. When you press on all this one, it's a fixed medium speed.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you press simple, it's controlled by the inertia toggle
Okay.
switch. So,
Okay.
for example, let's just strum a chord for
Instant.
Yeah.
slow.
Oh, I love that one.
I love that one.
when you swap to blend mode, which is again vibrato, and you put it all the way up, you can hear actually, the change in pitch. You can brighten the tone as well. The question that you might ask is, okay, but the vintage vibes are not sounding like this because they are much darker.
To be honest, I don't feel it.
But let's be honest. How many of us just play Hendrix cover band all the time?
And if you want to be darker, you just lower the tone.
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, my view on this pedal is, okay, unless you're playing in a Hendrix cover band and you really need that kind of dark kind of vibe, okay, let's get a vintage vibe.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
But if you are a modern player in 2023 and you want to play,
you just on.
Yeah.
Well, people may want to vibe because they want to play Hendrix style, but also I agree that you have the first vibe I tried in my life, which is complete. I mean, you have all the functions.
Lack of anything, yeah.
You have a good tone. You don't have impedance issues. I don't feel that it's not vintage for myself. From my point of view, you just have to lower the tone, maybe reduce a little bit some blend or some depths, and you find back any vintage one. Maybe there is some ask for a comparison of vibes. I would be open to it.
Actually, everybody always talks about like vintage correct and stuff. This is modern correct.
Yeah, but what does modern mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Because
like if you
it's a vibe.
Yeah, if you were to want like
else.
something darker, obviously you could just like lower the tone.
For me, it's a vibe.
Just dial in your tone, but this is usable actually.
And I love the Leslie feature with the two speeds.
I love it
and
too.
the delay between the transition. I love that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
This is unique. You mentioned that 2 hours before. Like try to read something unique. This is unique.
It's my approach to I love vintage stuff. I love vintage truly. But if we want to make something in 2023, we really need to understand that we need to go forward.
Yes.
So let's be inspired by the vintage stuff, but let's find a way to improve it if possible.
The big challenge for you is that this is like 400 euros, 350.
Yeah. Now, okay, this pedal is pretty. This pedal is pretty pricey.
Yeah, but it's okay.
But for a reason.
There is a reason.
I can tell you even why. Because you know the LDRs inside.
I know everything is expensive and it's a tough one.
No, it's the LDRs. There are 4 LDRs inside, and each of them are like €1 each.
Yeah.
More or less. The problem is, just like germanium diodes.
Oh, you need to select them.
You need to select them, and I don't know you, but we have pretty much like a discard rate of a 65%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you take like 1,000 1,000 LDRs or 1,000 germanium diodes, more or less, 600 are not good enough.
Down the toilet.
So I know there is that point, and also it's unique. You have the microcontroller thing.
Oh, yeah.
You have a ton of work behind. I wasn't saying that. I mean, it's a 400 euro pedals.
Yeah.
Is correct? So the customers are not many. So don't feel bad if you don't have the numbers you are expecting, because the product is unique.
Yeah.
And I think that every customer which will buy it, they will be satisfied. And I think that's the point at the end. this is not a major product like a Klon
No,
or
no,
Tube
no.
Screamer.
No, I knew that. Yeah, I mean, the Vibe customers are a niche into a niche. It's like that.
Exactly. But I mean, people which will try it, they will be happy with it, and that's a good thing. Congrats for that one.
Thanks.
And we just have the Colosseum left.
The Colosseum. The Colosseum is the latest one.
That's the one released on popular demand, right?
Exactly. It wasn't in my plans. It wasn't in my plans, but I was very surprised by that one because I've never experimented with Bluesbreaker or clones. So when people ask me, ask me with polls to make a double overdrive calling Colosseum with a Klon and Bluesbreaker, then I started tweaking with the circuit, and especially for the Bluesbreaker side, I just found that okay, maybe there is something that I can say. So let's go and let's do it. In the Bluesbreaker side, for example, I took as a reference the original Bluesbreaker.
So the Marshall.
Yes,
Okay.
the Marshall Bluesbreaker.
The big, large Marshall.
The
one.
black one. Yeah. I had this one. Another pedals based on the Bluesbreaker. So like for example the Protein, the Morning Glory, JHS.
We had a video about Bluesbreakers a couple of weeks ago with Guillaume Chenin, maybe you know him, and it was a long story.
Yeah, long story.
They know the long story. So yeah, they are not based on the Marshall one. Finally,
no,
they
no,
all have a different design.
Yeah, they're all a different design, which is cool. I mean, actually, it's cool that everyone has his own perspective and his own take on his own take.
Yeah.
This is mine.
So it's based on the original Marshall pedal.
It's the same circuit with three main differences.
Tell us.
The first one is that there are no clip-in diodes.
Oh.
So there are many that you can, for example, the King of Tone, the Analog Man King of Tone. You can select which clip-in diodes do you want, the combination, and symmetrical, asymmetrical. This is simple. There is no clip-in diodes.
No clipping diodes
at all.
Okay.
This is for a reason, because one of the common issues about the Bluesbreaker is volume. No loud enough.
Okay.
So I just decided, okay, let me try. When I was with the breadboard in front of me, I was like, okay, let me try to pull them off.
But how do you create the gain? Do you have any JFETs?
No. I create the gain, the distortion, the clipping. I create the clipping with op-amp.
Okay.
So you amplify the signal so much that actually it makes the op-amp clipping.
Okay.
Obviously, when I removed the clipping diodes, I was like, okay, there is enough volume, but the clipping is not sounding good. It's
the
like
frequencies are not.
No, it's sounding. It's not good. So what I did was I auditioned a number of different op-amps.
Oh.
And I changed it until I found one that was sounding good.
I understand.
Because op-amp clipping does make a difference. Op-amps, they are very different. They clip in a very different way.
Because they are not supposed to clip.
Yeah, they're
the
not
way you need to use them.
Exactly.
They are not supposed to clip. So
there's the reason why there are clipping diodes.
Yeah.
The diodes have to clip. So if you remove the clipping diodes, the other thing that will clip will be the op-amp. So I found one, and the one that I choose, I'm very satisfied with, because I like the clipping texture. I like the clipping compression, how the clipping evolves. So this is second difference. The other difference is
that's a big difference.
This is a pretty big difference. Is the clean, which is the same clean of the Gladio SC.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
It's pretty much like my signature control.
Yeah.
It could not be a Cornerstone pedal without a clean.
That's perfect.
And it does exactly the same job. So parallel mixing of clean. And this is it.
Okay.
The Klon side instead is a classic Klon. So no big difference other than the clip potentiometer, which
okay.
is going continuously from germanium to a couple of silicon that I selected.
Okay, right.
So you don't have the toggle switch, but you have a continuous change between from one to the other. Same switching features.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like this, and 4 jacks.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
That's
The
the new
4
thing.
jack.
Yeah.
So the 4 jacks are a way for you to switch both of the effects individually from your switching system.
Yeah, exactly. You can put
also
each channel.
Yes.
You can put each channel into a loop
Yes.
if you have a or
You could put something in the middle.
exactly.
Like the
Yeah, that one. I
on the
saw
middle
everybody
and
putting.
one afterwards.
Actually, I saw everybody putting that one in the middle. It's
I
like the trend right now.
I
you know.
always suggest everyone to do
Yeah.
this. Put the Gladio SC or the Imperium, especially if you have some sort of Gladio SC here or here. Put it in the middle between the BB and
Yes.
the K. Leaving the BB before.
Okay.
Well,
That would be just the change order.
the change
basically.
order change toggle switch.
Okay, so BB first, then you would put the Gladio.
I personally prefer the BB before the Klon.
Okay, so we'll go BB, Gladio, and then Klon, and then into the amplifier, right?
Yeah,
No,
but
I mean if we were to
yes,
doing it
exactly,
in the
exactly.
perfect order.
yeah, then perfect. Exactly.
Okay.
Should we listen it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very good. The clean is. Like,
Yeah, again, it's the secret weapon.
Yeah,
The secret weapon.
That's the secret tool you want to know about.
The clean
learn
up is a
about.
very good idea.
Yeah.
You have more dynamic and it's really compressed.
I like, yeah.
So you have both of them together.
Yeah, instead of, if you have that kind of parallel mixing, it's funny because you have an overdrive. You have still the same overdrive.
Yeah.
But when you put the clean sound into the equation, then everything changes.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Good.
So we shall we try the Klon?
Yeah, the Klon side.
Oh, something was up.
We were playing with a Gladio SC on. You can hear differences between germanium and silicon. Look at maybe just a strum chord. You see,
Sounds even like fuller. This is all the way to the right. It's germanium, right?
no, it's silicon.
No, it's silicon. Okay, this one sounds a bit darker, but
It's more compressed.
yeah, more compressed.
Exactly,
and-
because it does change the full voltage. I always go to the nerdy part of the discussion. It's you have different frequency response than the germanium. The germanium is more meat focused, more soft, less compressed. The silicon is more compressed, harder, and more bottom end.
Okay.
I like them both actually, but you know.
Depends on your playing and what you want.
Yeah. You can. Do you want to play the Bluesbreaker without
Alone.
Yeah,
Alone.
It sounded glorious. I mean, that was so good. If we were to play both of them together, don't you?
So that means
Voilà.
Klon in the BB?
It's BB into Klon.
Okay.
Is it okay or?
Again?
It's very, very open sounding and easy. Actually,
Thanks.
what I like about overdrives is just like how they make me feel when I play, which is important.
It's all about
to me.
feeling.
Yeah,
It's all about
because,
feel.
like, at the end of the day, when you play, the people in front of you don't really. It's not that they don't care about your gear. They don't actually. But I mean, they care about what you play, what emotion you convey and play with, and just there is this kind of like dialogue between the audience and you, and the most important thing is that you feel like confident and comfortable enough to play beautiful things and just what you have in mind, and that's very important to me. That's what I like in the Gladio, for example, that I own, that I can play like without even thinking of it, if you want. So basically that's the same here. The Bluesbreaker is just so cool with the Gladio, and I get that you would want to like put first, second, and then third, and just go all the way up and baff and and everybody here.
And Swan is a big fan of stacking overdrive.
Yeah.
And I'm on your side now. I prefer
For
also
once.
for once. I also prefer to set them, each of them individually at a good amount of gain, of tone, etc. And then you stack.
We had this talk like
we had
a
this
few months
discussion.
ago. He used to like put at the end of the chain one overdrive with little gain actually, but push it with volume and volume and volume until it breaks. It would work, but I prefer like to put to set
Like one always on,
everybody like working themselves like on their own, and then stacking them to try and get that mellow and cottony fluffy sound.
They work each of them individually, and they work also together. And that's a cool trick, just to set a little bit less gain, but just what you need.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you know,
And you got-
my philosophy with overdrive is that the overdrive basically, as an effect, was invented to simulate amp distortion.
Exactly.
So whenever you see a pedal that is being, an overdrive pedal is being, oh well, this is so amp-like. It should be.
I hope so. You would hope so.
Every pedal should be like this. So that's the goal. That's my goal.
But now
Well,
I
it
think
works
you
between the
can't,
fingers.
you can't release any overdrive. You have everything.
Yeah, especially with these two. I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Now with the metal zone by
No, yeah. Just the metal zone.
I mean,
With two
Bluesbreaker,
pedals.
DUMBLE, Tube Screamer, Klon.
Yeah,
you
the
have
four
big
the
families.
4 pillars
Yeah.
of all the overdrives in
Yes.
in two
Wow.
pedals.
You have a John Mayer here.
Yeah, I'm making a video, especially on John Mayer sound with the Antique and the Klon, or BB and Klon, or Antique and BB, especially on John Mayer sounds.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
very
need these two pedals and you're covered.
yeah. With these two
Just
pedals,
two pedals, that's fine.
Robben Dumble, John Mayer Screamer, Bluesbreaker, and Klon. I mean, just to.
Just all of them together.
In fact, I don't think I will be making any other overdrives. Probably
No.
fuzz,
Yeah, fuzz, yeah. But,
fuzz,
yeah.
and then will be the time for reverb, for other stuff.
Well, congrats, Emilio.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for driving
you
from
so
north from Italy.
Yeah, north of Italy.
Like 5 hours driving from here?
It's like 4 hours.
4 hours.
drive.
Okay, but that's not too bad.
No, not too bad. Not too bad.
And I'm really glad to have you here. Congrats for the gear again. I really like everything.
Thank you.
But
Thank you very much.
I had a particular crush on the vibe, to be honest, guys. They know I like vibes. Every time I try a good vibe, I just say it again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good one. Before you leave, you need to follow the tradition.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
What?
Yes.
I'm scared.
Oh yeah, you should be.
What should I
Is
do?
it- and we say it, toutes les pédales in French.
Ah, toutes les pédales.
Toutes les pédales. We just stack everything.
The face was priceless. We don't even need to do it. Just the face was perfect.
All right. Oh, okay. But if we stack the Gladio Antique and Imperium, it would be like having two Gladio and two
Yeah,
Antique.
so maybe we won't
You
stack
don't
the-
have your word on it. It's everything.
All right. Let's stack these two and the
Everything step by step.
Okay.
And we have a special jingle for that.
Toutes les pédales.